Hi, good evening, friends, and welcome to this shorter yin practice. We'll be doing a lot of work on the legs and then focusing on those subtle rebound effects after each side. We'll work one side first and then we'll work on the other after. And yeah, it's a great way to learn to listen inwards and become a little bit more present in the body. We'll get started here, so getting something comfy. You can always bring a couple of blocks or a towel or books as props. You can use anything that you have handy in the house. We'll get started in a nice seated position. Anything that works for you. You might sit up on something. Roll your shoulders back and down a couple of times. Getting nice and comfortable here. Hands can come to rest on your legs. And then find a little growing sensation of that spine, almost like someone is pulling at the tips of your ears, gentle humble of your chin. And then if you feel safe to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. As you become aware of your breath here, allowing our belly to soften a bit more, to invite those inhales. And using your exhales to let go of any tension, to soften the muscles, loosening them away from the bones. And allowing our awareness to fully land here in your body, wherever you're at. Leaning into the simplicity of your breath. The exhales mirroring the inhales, and this continuous progression. And that breath is a beautiful anchor. So as we move through the practice, if you find that your mind is a little bit agitated, actually like to join us, come and do some yoga with us. If you find that your mind gets agitated, just bring it back to the breath. You might find a few deeper inhales and exhales to re-anchor. And we'll enjoy 5 more full cycles of breath here together. Maybe you count them down from 5 to 1. Perhaps allowing each exhale to extend a little bit longer than the previous one. Enjoying a little pause at the bottom. And a little pause at the top. Beautiful. Now let's finish off with a cleansing breath. So we'll inhale through the nose, open the mouth, and sigh it out. Great work. So starting now, you can start on the right side with an external rotation of our hip. So you could just lean back onto hands, bring your feet in front of you, and let your knees drop in towards each other and just enjoy some windshield wipers. Going to check in how the hips are feeling. Do as many of these as you like. And then when your knees rest on the right side, let's pause there and sit up for our deer pose. So pulling our left leg behind us. Right shin is parallel to the front of the mat. So working with those 3 90-degree angles, you can always prop your bum up on a little towel or a little block if that helps. So this is the first option. If you'd rather do your pigeon, of course you can extend the left leg straight behind you. I like working with this pose since it's a little bit more gentler on the knee. And if you feel okay too, you can start to lean forward. And might close your eyes here just to really connect with all those little micro sensations as you explore, perhaps deeper. Making sure those right toes are flat. We want to protect our hinge joints. And you might use your blocks here as you come forward. Resting your forearms, maybe even resting your forehead onto a block or stacked fists. And one thing that I like to do here as well is to plant my hand or my forearm into the sole of the right foot. If you apply a little gentle pressure here, you might experience a little bit more of a stretch in that right hip. But wherever you are, you want to enjoy a nice dull sensation of a stretch. Stay away from any tingling or sharp burning pain sensations. And then we'll let the breath guide us into some stillness. Savoring each cycle, being open to whatever it might bring, having that curious mindset. Beautiful. We'll have about 1 more minute here. Let's enjoy our final 5 breaths here in this deer pose. Maybe finding that those final exhales bring you even deeper into the stretch. And with an inhale, slowly rising up, nice and slow as you come out. And then we'll remove any blocks to the side. You can bring both legs in front of you now. Enjoying a nice still rebound. You might just keep your legs in front of you. If you want to do some movements, you can roll your feet or find some more windshield wipers. We will be continuing on the right side in a nice hamstring stretch now. So coming into either half butterfly, so sole the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, or you could do half saddle. Sitting up on a block or a towel can really help if you have tight hips or your lower back is a bit tight. And I like to start here with my fingertips behind me and find a few inhales to really lengthen that torso. And then with the exhale, hinging forward. And a few of those, you might enjoy that lengthening and then moving into the space. But with time, start to let your arms, your shoulders become really relaxed. You can draw them in front of you, and here a block can be nice to rest your forehead on. And try to soften your right toes here. So it's a little bit different from the young version of the stretch. We allow simply our body weight and gravity to get that beautiful stretch into the backside of the body. And let's settle in for 10 full breath cycles. And be really careful here to prepare to come out of a passive forward fold. We want to gently activate the pelvic floor. And then with an inhale, slowly start to stack one vertebrae on top of the other. At the top, rolling your shoulders back and down. Removing any blocks to the side. You can bring both legs in front of you. You could do a nice passive still rebound, just kind of checking in with any sensations in that right leg. You might find some movement if that feels better for you. And we're going to continue working on the right side now with an internal rotation for a half saddle. So I'm going to scooch over and turn this way. So our left leg will be straight to start. Bend the right knee and then lean over to your left sit bone and bring your right foot by your right hip. And here you might really want to sit up on a block if you find that it's challenging to bring your right foot there. You could also bring it a little bit wider depending on the flexibility of your ankle and your hip and quad. So the goal here is to work on that quad muscle on the right side. You might feel a lot already just sitting here. But whenever you feel ready to explore with sensation, you could lean back onto hands. Some of you might come down all the way onto forearms. But what's really important to think about here is that the right knee should not leave the mat. So keeping the hinge joint in your knee supported. You might find that one station feels good for a few breaths, and then you're ready to explore a little bit deeper. You might even come all the way down onto your back. You could lie down onto a bolster, a towel, or blocks as well. And I like to add a little bit of a shoulder stretch here, drawing arms overhead. Clasping opposite wrists or opposite elbow can feel good. And become really present in your body. See if you can localize where you're feeling the stretch. And then imagining that you're sending your inhale there, massaging it, opening up, and then use your exhales to release any tension you might have found there. So nice organic opening. You should feel that you can still enjoy nice depth in your breath, so never sacrificing that. It's the foundation. Let's enjoy 10 delicious breaths here. And I also wanted to say, if you feel the compression in your lower back is too much, you can always bend your left knee, planting the foot on the floor. Let's finish off this stretch with a nice cleansing breath. So big inhale through your nose and sighing it out. And very slowly we want to gradually come out the same way we moved in. So if you're all the way down, forearms first, and then slowly coming all the way up. And as we come up, let's lean over to the right. And we can just extend the legs in front of us. Now, as slow as you can, let's come down all the way onto our back. So this is a rebound position. I will use Huxley as a bit of a bolster for me here. I'm going to scooch down. And simply letting the body find some stillness, but keeping the awareness in the body. Letting all the tissues regather. You might notice a slight difference from the right to the left side. We'll find 5 breaths here, and you're always welcome to stay longer. Beautiful. Let's bring the knees to the chest. Just find a little bit of a hug. And then just roll over to your side, fetal position. And from there, we'll press back up to seated. And we'll explore that on the other side. So you can start with just some seated windshield wipers, hands behind you, knees drop in together, feet a little bit wider, and then just flush side to side. And then when you're ready to settle into your deer, drop the knees to the left. And then pull the right leg behind you. Find those 3 90-degree angles where your left shin is parallel to the front of the mat, same with your right thigh. And flex both feet here. As an option, you can always do your pigeon or half pigeon here. Maybe you sit up on a blanket or prop yourself up a little bit to make yourself comfortable. And then gradually we'll explore this side. For me, the side sends a lot more feedback. So I can feel it in my hip a lot more. I can feel it in the back of my left hamstring as well. And using blocks as you come forward, or stacked fists, or any support that can make you dive a little bit deeper. finding that full sense of surrender. And again, I like to place my right hand or right forearm into the sole of the left foot. This is one of the longest holds. So we'll really let that breath find and help us find the stillness. You might work with some mantras, some little words of comfort that could help you. It could be let go, I'm here, or I'm safe. And feeling how you can surrender fully into the gravity. One more minute here. If your mind wanders, my voice can bring your attention back. Find that presence in the body. Maybe repeat a mantra, I am here. Move at your own cue when you're ready, slowly rising up. And let the right leg come in front of us. You could just extend both legs. And just still rebound or find some movement of your feet or your knees. Continuing to work on our left side. Now coming into a bit of a hamstring stretch. So you can do a half butterfly or a half saddle. Sitting up on something can really help here. And I like again to start with the fingertips behind me and find that lengthening sensation with my inhales and exhale to hinge. And a couple of those can really help you get the center of gravity in your torso forward a little bit. So as you relax your arms, your head forward, you can really let the gravity help you get a beautiful stretch into your lower back and that left hamstring. And check in with your left foot to make sure it's soft. Soften your jawline, behind your eyes, all the way back into the brain cavity. And let's see if we can just enjoy 10 full cycles of breath here without the need to push and get deeper. Seeing simply what each exhale brings. This is harder than it looks. Calming down the achieving mind. Great work. Again, gentle activation of the pelvic floor here. Prepare to come out first. And then when you're ready, let an inhale slowly stack the vertebrae on top of each other. Roll your shoulders back and down. Let's release. Legs to come in front of you in stillness or movement. And we'll find the final pose here on the left side, which is an internal rotation of the hip. So I'm going to move over this way now, leaning onto my right hip. And then bending the left knee, we'll bring the left foot over to your left hip. So I'll just show you here to sit up on a block. Looks a little bit more like this. And this can really help if you are tight in your hip. Depending on the size and kind of shape of our hip sockets, that will tell how easy these internal and external rotations are. So finding a place that works for you, and then from there, you can explore at your own pace, coming down, perhaps some hands or forearms. Blocks on the forearms can be really nice too. Making sure the left knee is planted fully on the ground. And once you found your Goldilocks spot, that place where you're feeling a good stretch, it's not too little, but it's also not too much. You can enjoy the full depth of your breath, and your mind can stay still. You're not fighting the body, you're not fighting the pose. 10 delicious breaths here. Let's finish off with a cleansing breath. Find a big inhale and sigh it out. Slowly we come out of the pose. Now leaning over to the right, release, and now with as few movements as you can, coming down onto your back. Enjoying that rebound now on the left side. Can you feel the tissues regather, kind of communicating together again after these poses, seeing what's been happening and how everything fits back into place. And we'll drift into our Shavasana from here. So you want to place a blanket on top of you or something under your knees for lower back support, go ahead. And make sure here you got that humble of your chin. And we'll find a big inhale. Hold it for a second at the top. And then nice sigh out through the mouth. Allowing yourself now to simmer fully in the stillness, in the peaceful state that you've created. You worked on that pathway, and you can take that pathway into your everyday life. Bring your hands together, thumbs to that space in between your eyebrows, and gently whisper, Namaste. Welcome to stay here in your Shavasana for a while longer. And thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to my channel, comment, requests. I love all of that.